Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Touching You Talk Show. My name is Elder Sheila Black, and guess what? I have a very special guest with me today in the persons of Coach Sammy Epps. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Good,
Glad to be here.
good. So I always ask my guests, how long have we known each other?
Since August
Since
this past year, I guess.
August, since August. Yes. And I must say that it has been a pleasure and a joy watching you coach my son as he ran track this year. So I can just say thank you. I appreciate your coaching style. All right, tell me where you are from.
I'm from the big bad city of Atlanta, Texas. You
What in the
kind of have to
world?
you have to be looking for us to find us. That's for sure. We're about 30 miles. I guess I'm about 30 miles south of Texarkana on Highway
Okay,
59. We're between Texarkana and Marshall.
okay, all right, all right. So did you go to school there?
Yes, born and raised here in Atlanta, Texas. Well, actually, I'm getting real with you. Born and raised in a community called Shiloh. It's about 8 miles west of Atlanta, Texas, and that's where I was born and raised, and that's where I'm from.
Nice. So, okay, so we call you Coach Epps. So, did you participate in sports when you were in school?
Well,
Which,
yeah.
let me rephrase that. I know you did. So, which sports did you participate in?
Well, where I'm from, Atlanta, we it's a small town, and we didn't have off season per se, so we did everything. We did football. Football was over. It was basketball season, so we all played basketball. After basketball season was over, we all ran track. That's kind of what we did. If they didn't run track, people played baseball. But we were always doing something, and all the kids in our community were very competitive. So we were always doing something.
So, which one did you consider your best sport?
Well, I considered track to be my best sport because I was a little bitty thing. I was small. I was about 5'10". When I was a senior, I was about 5'10", maybe 120 pounds, soaking wet. And so, but I could always run and I could jump. I could really jump. One of my older brothers, David, he taught me how to long jump. I watched him one day at track practice. He was out there practicing on his long jump, and I thought it was so pretty. It was such a beautiful event to watch. And he was working on his little hitch kick, and I tried to emulate all the things that he did. Obviously, I couldn't, but I couldn't do it like he did it. But I took a little piece from what he did, and I took a little piece of my own and added to it, and it worked for me. It worked for me.
So, tell me, so when you ran track, did you have a specific, like my son, he runs 800 and 1500. So,
Hmm.
did you have a particular one that you were the best at and that you always ran?
Well, yeah. In high school, I was kind of middle of the road and everything. To be honest with you, I always enjoyed the 400, and I've always loved the long jump. I was on the varsity in high school, long jumping, but my coach said, "Oh, I'm not gonna take you to the meet just the long jump," so he made me run the mile. He made me run the mile as a freshman. But after that year, I tell you, I got a lot stronger, and I began running the 400. So in college, I hit the weights quite a bit, and I got much stronger, and I got much faster. The 400 was really the 400 and always the long jump were always my two favorite events.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you have a family. So, tell me about your family. Tell me about your lovely wife.
Oh yeah, I got a wife. We just had our seventh anniversary. I guess it was the seventh
Yay!
anniversary, 28th of May. And if she's watching, she'll be proud of me for remembering that. Usually I'm after her about that, but yeah, we have let's see, let me see now, eight. We have 8 children, and we have. She corrected me on this one just last week. I have 12 grandchildren.
Oh my goodness, the tribe of Judah.
We have a few. We have a few.
Well, that is amazing. I bet you have some great family reunions and you have such a beautiful, beautiful wife. Tell me what you guys look like you work so well together. What makes the chemistry so good?
I guess it's the yin and the yang, you know.
Yin and
Opposites,
the yang.
woo, opposites definitely attract. I tell you, she's kind of high strung, and you know she's direct about everything. Me, I'm kind of more laid back, but I think about a lot of things before I do them. But she's gonna be out there. She's kind of, you know, if she's thinking it, you gonna know it. But me, on the other hand, I'm more of a laid back kind of person. I do a lot of observing before I get in. But she always tells me I've never met a stranger. I have to keep the gab.
Well, I know you didn't make me feel like a stranger, so I believe that that's true. So tell me, what made you decide to become a coach? First of all, give me the definition of a coach.
I think the definition of a coach is someone who can lead, guide, and direct a person, not necessarily a young person, depends on who they're coaching. Lead, guide, and direct, and give them some insight as to what they're doing without making them feel like I'm punishing them, or without making them feel like they're doing everything wrong per se. Because most time, most people are doing things right. They're just not doing them in the order that they should be doing them. Because knowledge is everything. Knowledge is power. Once you know how to do something, it's so much easier to be able to go, complete a task, complete a mission. And that's the kind of the joy that I get out of coaching. Your son included. And thank you, by the way, for allowing me to coach your son. Your son has a gift. My job as a coach is to enhance that gift, teach him how to use that gift, and kind of cultivate him a little bit so that he learns exactly how to apply that gift in the sport of track and field and cross country, by the way.
So, what kind of training do you have to become a coach?
um, Honestly, I think experience plays a lot when it comes to coaching. You have to first have a heart for in my profession, for children. You have to have a heart for children. And I was fortunate enough this past year to be able to tell my high school coach, thank you. I finally got a chance to tell him thank you for giving me the opportunity to be me. Um, he made one phone call, in his words. He says, Sammy, all I did was made one phone call. You had everything that you needed in order to succeed, but everybody didn't know that because you were underdeveloped in high school. He says, I made one phone call, but I told him, I said, that one phone call you made a world of difference for my life. And I thanked him for it.
That's amazing. So, what made you decide though? When did you realize, okay, this is what? Because being a coach is not necessarily or just a profession, but it's a calling. So, when did you realize that this was your calling to be a coach?
Well, I've actually it's been a kind of an ongoing process, over and over and over and over. And I realized that I always wanted to be around sports and athletics because I love sports and athletics. My family is was very much involved in sports and athletics. But when my high school coach did that for me, it resonated inside of me, and I said I'd like to do that for someone else, and I try to do that for someone else, year after year after year after year. That's kind of what I do. That's what I do. I just want to bring out the talent that people have and show them the way, show them how to use it, show them how to be the best them that they can be. I just want them to be have the best future that they can have, whether that's in sports, athletics, or at the end of the day in life. I want them to be a better person in life in our society.
So, what do you say to that coach that their sole purpose is to be the best coach ever in life, and uh, that the kids make them shine, him or her? It's all about them. What do you say to that coach?
Get out. He should get out. He or she should get out. This is not about me. It's about the kids. It's always about the kids. It's not about how good I look, what I look like doing it. I'm in it for the children. Period. That's what I'm in it for. I want to make their lives better through sports, if at all possible. You know, everybody's not cut out to be a college athlete or whatever, but everybody can be a better person in this society, a better man for their families. You know, we're all about teaching children how to become better people in our society, and if I can do that, I've accomplished my task.
So, how important is the educational part of it? And I know some of the other coaches actually coach, English, or they may coach, but you're basically all sports, right? You don't coach any,
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
don't teach any.
I teach also. Yes,
Okay. What
we're
else do you
teaching.
teach? Tell
We're
me.
teaching first.
Okay.
I teach health
Okay.
course. Uh-huh.
Okay.
CPR, first aid, those kind of things. I teach all those things. Emotional health, social health, which is so important today for these young kids. They think social health is the biggest thing, because every time you see them, they're on their phones. It's all about them being on their phones or social media, and I try and teach them it's not all about, how many likes you can get on that phone for whatever post you put out there. But I'm trying to lead, guide, and direct them toward being a better person, to just find you in this life. Find you, not what everybody else is doing, because what you like may not be what everybody else likes. And it may not be popular. You may not be what everybody is doing. But you need to find out what it is that you like. Find your calling and follow that calling. Whatever your purpose is in this life, you need to find that. And I'm trying to push you that way.
So how do you remain calm? Because I've been at just about all of the track meets. I have never seen you, and I have seen other coaches do this. They're running up the side. How do you remain calm, sir?
I'm
I've
not
never seen
always
you
calm.
do that.
Oh,
I've never seen you do that.
I'm not always calm. It just kind of depends on the moment. And it depends. A lot of things go into that. A lot of coaches, they coach. I'll give you an example. An example of one of my coaches, Coach Devon Campbell. He coaches with his heart. He coaches with his heart. He has nothing but love for those children, and he's an emotional guy. And you'll see him. He'll do that. He's one of those emotional kind of guys. But if you look for me at a track meet, you know where you're going to find me? I'm usually sitting up in the stands at the finish line, because ultimately they all got to come back to where I am. So I don't have to chase them all over the track. I know where they're coming, and I know they're going to be at the finish line, and I want to be at the finish line. I want to be there. I want to know what the times are, because I'm looking for progress, and I want them to know that, hey, if anytime you're looking for coach, he's going to be right there. He'll be right there. After you finish, you look up there. I'm sitting right there.
So tell me this, and I know a lot of your athletes are your height, or they may be taller than you.
Hmm.
How do you deal with behavioral issues? I mean, because I know for a fact you probably want to just take a fist and go.
We,
So
I,
how
you
do
know,
you deal? Come on, let's go ahead and let's let some of the other coaches know, or some of the other people who are thinking about being coaches.
mhm.
How can they deal with behavioral problems without beating the person down with
To be
fist?
honest with you, I I don't I don't have behavioral issues. I really don't. I mean, our kids, they know what we expect. We set a high standard. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. We set a high standard, and I'm old school. The coaches call me Pop. They call me Pop. I coached my first assistant. I coached my second assistant. I coached them, and they know what I expect. I don't put up with mess. You know, kids. If you set a high standard and you put your expectations out front, and you tell them this is what I want, if you expect that, kids, be honest with you, they will try their best to follow that. But if you put up with some mess, then that's what you're gonna get is mess, because you didn't set a standard. You didn't set a boundary. You have to set a boundary with those, especially nowadays. You have to set a boundary with kids. When they took out the board, the paddle. I thought that was one of the worst things they could have ever done. But hey, I'm old school, and I believe children should do exactly what their parents taught them. You should do what you're taught to do. And unfortunately, I'm gonna keep it very real now. Unfortunately, some of these kids don't get that at home, so they're looking for it. And when we give it to them at school, whether it be through athletics or it's in your classroom or in the hallway, wherever you are, kids respect adults who expect a high level. If you set your bar, your standard high, kids will they will fall into line and follow that. But if you have no boundaries, if you have no expectations, then kids are going to do whatever they want to do, and they really do. They really, they excel when you give them boundaries and you push them, and we push them.
That's amazing. So tell me all of the sports that you're coaching currently right now.
Okay, I'm the head freshman football coach. I'm the head varsity boys track coach, and I'm the head varsity boys cross country coach. That's
Wow.
enough. So I'm
Wow.
busy all year long.
I was about to say you never really get a break, do you?
No, not really, not really.
And actually, you still don't get a break because I've seen you at summer track
And you'll see
meet.
me again. I'm out there because my wife and I are USA certified track and field officials. So that
Okay.
means we'll go from meet to meet, and we'll do events. We'll run off the long jump or the triple jump or the shot put or the discus, or we'll be umpires or referees or marshals or whatever the meet needs. We pretty much we can do it.
So how do y'all get used to this heat?
Whew, it's not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy. As a matter of fact, I just got off the phone with one of the summer track folks, and he's wondering if I'm gonna be back in town by the weekend so that we can run off some events for him. And yeah, I will. Well, I'll be back. Try and get some stuff done for him this weekend. Just put your hat on and cover up, and get your tent out, and hey, make it happen for the kids. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids.
So what do you say to that person that, they're thinking about being a coach? What would you say to convince them? Or what would you say to encourage them? What I
Um,
mean, give them the advantages or the benefits or the fruit of being a coach.
I can't even tell you how many times one of my former students has either emailed me or called me or whatever, and for me, this is why I keep doing what I do. One of my first years as a coach, I was in a small town called Crossett, Arkansas, and I coached this little kid. Yeah, I say a little kid. He's a grown man now, but I coached him as a ninth grader, and he said, "Coach, you saw something in me that I didn't even know I had myself. You showed me that I could do anything in this life if I wanted to." And he said, "I am a coach today because of you." And to me, that is the ultimate gift. And that says a lot about you as a person. But it also says that I achieved my goal. I showed him what gifts he had, and I helped him to use those to help other kids. And whether it's helping other kids or helping other people, that's what we all should be doing. We should always be helping other people. We should always be in giving service mentality, service mode always. Always be a giver, not a taker all the time.
Well, that's that's simply amazing. So, how in the world did you get to be nominated the Coach of the Year? How did
Good
you
question. That's a good question. Um, I I asked my sister over there, Coach Groom. That's my sister. I said, well, I told her, I said, I was nominated for Coach of the Year this year. She said, I know. I said, how'd you know? She said, well, you ought to be nominated for something. You do something for somebody all the time. You're driving buses for everybody. You're always there to do something for somebody all the time. Well, as I said, that's kind of the nature of the beast. I'm a giver. I like to help people. I always like to help. And she said, well, you deserve it. I mean, look at the kids you coached. Look at the things that you've done. And I said, well, I just do what I do. I do what I do. I coach every year. I coach, whether the awards come or not. I mean, the awards are secondary, but for me, it's just being able to do what I do year in and year out, and being able to go to sleep at night knowing that I did everything I could for every kid on my team. Whether that be, okay, he's got a scholarship, he needs he's going to have a scholarship, he's going to go to wherever, whichever D1 college he wants to go to, or if it's a kid who's going to go out into our workforce and try to make try to be the man for his family. Neither one is more important than the other for me. Neither is more important. I just want that kid to be a productive member of our society, and to know that at the end of the day, uh, he's prepared, he's out there, and he's going to be a productive member of that society, and he's going to do good things, or not, or great things with his life and his family. That's, for me, is all the awards I'll ever need.
So tell me about that. So you drive the bus. What else? What else do we not know that you? What else are you doing that we don't know? It's not obvious to the rest of us.
Well, our district kind of decided, well, we don't have enough bus drivers. We have a bus driver shortage in our district. And they decided, well, you guys can go back and get your CDL license and drive your own buses, and we'll pay to do it. So, well, that was enough for me, because I just decided, okay, I'm tired of waiting on a bus, especially for my freshman track team. I would have to leave school. We would have to leave school at 1 o'clock midday and go to another campus, like say DeSoto or Lancaster or wherever. And the meet didn't start until 5 p.m. But they would come and they would drop us off, and then they would come back after the meet was over to pick us up. And I said, that's such a waste of time. We'd be inside somebody's indoor facility, laying around, and when you with freshman kids, they are playing football indoors or whatever they want to do, just general horseplay is what they were doing. But I just decided I would go ahead and get those licenses, and that way we wouldn't have to leave school, so we wouldn't have to miss as much school, which made the principal happy, it makes the teachers happy, makes the parents happy, and well, some of the freshman kids don't like it so much. They want to get out of class, but but it made everybody happy. So that was just one more thing I could do.
So how long have you been coaching? I can't remember if I asked you that.
Well, this year was my 30th year in Arlington, and I've been
Wow.
coaching for a total of 36 years. I did
Oh
six
my
years in
goodness.
Arkansas.
Oh my goodness. So you've been around the block and you have some stories to tell out of all those years. So tell me about the successes that your track team achieved, because I just came from a banquet and
Yeah,
I saw all of the awards. So tell me some of the successes from this year.
from this year, let's see. This year, we had two of the school records broken. One on the girls' side, one on the guys' side, both in the 100-meter dash, and both the girls and the boys both qualified to go to the state track meet. And that's our ultimate goal every year, regardless of the year. I mean, if we don't get to the state track meet, in my mind, it's not a successful season, because more coaches are there to see those kids at the state track meet. and a lot of kids get scholarships from some of the meets that we run. We set our schedule up in such a way so that our kids are able to be seen by not only the coaches here in North Texas, but kids from all over the coaches from all over the country can see our kids, and so we've had a lot of success. I've been very blessed and fortunate to be where I am at Bowie High School because I have seen some great athletes. I've seen some great athletes come through, and like I say, God has really blessed me to be in this position.
So tell me about some of the coaches. Now, you said that you actually coached some of the coaches that are on your team. Let's talk about the people that you have that are coming alongside you and just working. You're working with them. Tell me about your coaches.
I'll tell you, it's like a dream. It's like a dream come true. Um, on our 2003 state championship track team, Devon Campbell ran on that team, and we were trying to get him a couple of years earlier. I'll be honest with you, to come over and coach because he was coaching at Hutchinson Junior High, and we finally got him over there to be coaching with us. He is on my staff. Dominic Chris also is on my staff. Colton Jones is also a Bowie product. I'm proud of all those guys. I mean, those all coached all those guys. All those guys came through the Bowie High School system per se, and it's a like I say, it's a blessing to be in one place long enough to be able not only to coach kids, but to coach kids of the kids that you coached. God is truly still blessing me.
Absolutely. All of those years. So, from what I understand, I heard Coach Campbell say that you cannot retire. So, what do you have to, what are you trying to say to that? He said, "No, sir, you cannot." What do you have to say to that?
Well, I told him don't worry about it yet. I'm not going anywhere just yet. But hey, sometime not in the not too distant future, he might ought to start thinking about that. That's something that's down the road a little bit. But when the time comes, he and Coach Chris, I'm gonna tell them, hey, I tell you, I got to take it over. They know
I,
our system and they know the way that we do things.
I see you have some family on the line. Check this out. Sister Wilma, she said, "I'm so proud of you,
Now,
brother."
that's my baby. That's my baby sister there. That's my baby there. That's my baby.
And then we have Desi. She said, "Coach of the Year is well deserved, brother. We're all proud of you."
That's my big sister. Now she's always large and in charge.
Oh,
She's
she's
always in charge. And I
how
tell Coach
many
Bloom, she reminds me of her all the time because she's always trying to be boss, trying to tell me what to do.
so how many of y'all is it? How many
Woo.
siblings do you have?
There were 7 boys and 2 girls, and
Hmm.
I was number 7 of 9.
Wow.
Anybody watches Star Trek? 7 of 9. That's me. I'm 7 of 9.
Man, you guys had fun all the time, but did you fight?
Woo.
Come on, be
Yeah,
honest.
we had
Did you
lots
fight?
of fun.
You had
Still
lots of
have
fun.
lots of fun. Still have lots of fun whenever we can get together.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to send this picture to me because I did not do it before we started. But I have a picture of Coach holding his award, Coach of the Year. Super, super proud of you. So glad that you are my son's coach. So glad about that. So, as I pull up this picture, what are your final recommendations? What's on your heart? Somebody that's listening, I don't know.
I'm
Like I
just
said, maybe it's a coach. Maybe it's a coach that's feeling discouraged right now. Maybe their team didn't do as well this year. What would you say to encourage that coach that maybe they did not have a great year? Maybe they don't have the star athletes. Maybe they have athletes that have behavioral issues. What do you say to encourage that coach?
well, first and foremost, I would say, hey, wake up again tomorrow. Tomorrow's a different day, and you go back at it as hard tomorrow as you went at it today. Because ultimately things are going to change. Things are going to change. They're not always going to be the same. You're not always going to be on top, and you're not always going to be on bottom. But one thing you can always do is you put your best foot forward every single day, day after day after day. Because kids don't always remember what you say, they remember what you do.
Well, that is amazing. So I'm going to share my screen so we can see this lovely picture of you holding your award.
Okay.
And I can find it.
And I like to tell that one coach, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. That's my saying. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. So you keep pushing forward, push forward, keep pushing forward for the finish. Okay? Because it ain't over until you say it's over.
Let me see if I can get it to show. There it is. All right, there you are holding your award. Who is that standing next to you?
That's Coach Sam. That's our head football coach. And
Uh,
and that's the one guy on my left is the head trainer for our district, Steve
Okay,
Guadalupe.
okay, all right. Well, congratulations on
Thank you.
being the coach of
Thank
the year. I'm not surprised. I'm very, very proud to say that you are my son's coach. And I appreciate you taking out this time to just let me just take a peek into your life and see just see how far you have come from A all the way up to I'm gonna say L, not Z
you.
yet. So you still got a
Like I
little bit
say,
more time.
hey,
But
it's
thank you
it's
so much for being my guest, and thank you for those who did put some comments out there. I want to ask that you would share this video. This has been a
okay.
great interview. He's had some nuggets that I'm sure somebody out there needed to hear the words that he has spoken on tonight. So make sure and share the video. So I hope all of you have a great day. Thank you, Coach Sammy. And this
Thank
is
you.
the Touching You Talk Show. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Bye bye.